welcome to the Garden Show. And I'm Geri Hoerner, and joining me today is Ginny Vance, and she is a member of the Bella Vista Garden Club and also a Benton County Master Gardener. And today we're going to be talking about exciting new plants for 2025. So we will also be talking about events coming up, which there's a lot of them, and what you need to be doing in your garden in May. So first of all, the upcoming events, first of all, I wanted to thank our sponsors. The Bella Vista Garden Club and the Benton County Master Gardeners have been so generous to help us with the programming, and we really appreciate their support. So, and then the upcoming events, we have the Bella Vista Garden Club Spring Plant Sale. They had one already, but the big one is coming up on May 17th. So, and you've been real involved with that.
Yes.
So, planting and digging and whatever. But, you know, the plants come from everybody's garden. So, you know, they grow here. They grow well. So, that's going to be May 17th from 8 to 1. It's one day only on a Saturday at the Village Wastewater, where they usually have it. We have perennials, herbs, iris, annuals, shrubs, trees, and houseplants. Oh, and we have those great gloves, too, those wonderful gloves for your garden. So, but it's a great way to get good plants. And we do have quite a few more native plants now. So have you been dividing the natives?
Yes, we have been. Yep.
So we're going to be more into native plants, which we all need. And the proceeds go to support our Dorothy Wallace scholarships and our other community events we have. So, and another date to put on your calendar, I'm really excited about this one, is June 14th. We have a Bella Vista Garden Club Garden Walk. It's inviting everyone to be our guest. We have a little flyer here that we could show. And it's going to be, let's see, held from 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
And your garden is on the garden walk.
Excited, trying to get everything ready and spiffed up for everyone to come.
And this one is going to be free of charge.
Free of charge and donations accepted. Yep.
It's our gift to the community.
Gift to the community. We want to be our guest, everyone to be our guest. And we're real excited to have you. Like I said, on June 14th, it'll be rain or shine. We've got 6 locations. We've got 4 private homes that'll be on the garden walk.
And they're all garden club members.
Yes.
Bella Vista Garden
and then
Club.
we've got, actually 3 of them are part of the garden club. The other one is not a member. But anyway, we've got 4 private gardens, and we've got 1 garden that's the Bella Vista Community Garden that'll be on display, and then we'll also have our native plant demonstration bed that the Bella Vista Garden Club has put together down at the wastewater treatment plant where we have our plant sale.
And that's a great bed. They can go and see how the native plants look. And
we'll be able to have people there doing questions and answers. So we're excited for everyone to put that on your date, and it'll be great.
Yeah, June 14th.
June 14th,
on your calendar.
Saturday. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then it'll be on the website after June 1st. You'll be able to download the brochure, and I'll give you a map to go to all these different gardens. That's available after June 1st. So.
It'll be on our website and also our Facebook page. We'll be sure to post that there so that you're invited.
Right. Okay. But today we're going to talk about the new plants. You know, every year new plants come out. And every year people think, oh, well, they just just got this plant ready last year. It takes years and years and years to get plants available for the market because they send out samples or plants to different places, universities. They send them to nurseries. In fact, the master gardeners, when we have our state meeting, they give us a plant to try. It's a trial plant, and we have to rate them. We have a scorecard, and we rate them, and all these points go in. And it takes years and years to gather all this information and be sure that they're drought tolerant or are heat tolerant,
disease resistant.
I mean, they just go through all of these trials before you even see them at the nursery. It just takes forever.
And it's so interesting where they send these plugs to various different nurseries to test and trial. And if you follow any of the growers, it's
Right.
interesting that they'll keep them in their growing season a good maybe 1 year to 2 years before they put it on the market.
Yeah.
And
then can you imagine trying to get enough plants to go to market across the whole country, all the nurseries and all the box stores, and then it's also all over the world.
Yep.
They sell them in Europe and Australia. So I mean, it takes just forever to get these plants to market. So they've been tried and tested, that's for sure.
That is for
when
sure.
You get them. And
they're so beautiful. It's so
are.
exciting to see the new plants every year.
They are.
So anyway, we're going to talk first about the annuals with impacts. Annuals are great to have in your garden because they usually bloom all year long, from spring all the way to fall. There is one that is so exciting to see with the different plants that come up. With the petunias, there's several of them that come up.
This one's really pretty.
Very pretty. The Petunia Easy Wave Neon Rose is a neon pink bloom. It's rain and heat tolerant and ideal for containers and hanging plants. This one is just so beautiful in a garden.
Yeah.
So Geri, let's talk about the ones that you've seen that you fell in love with the minute that you've seen that.
It's the Petunia Splash series. So I saw this at the Hiwassee Mercantile, and I just stopped dead in my tracks. It looked like somebody had taken white paint and splashed it on the petunia, and they're big blooms. So I was looking into them, and I found them online. I found seeds are readily available too for these petunias. They're beautiful. So I did order some. I haven't got them yet. But these just would be a knockout in your garden with that splash of white, on the blooms.
Yeah.
So they're pretty.
They're going to be so pretty in your garden, very pretty.
Yeah.
The next one that we're going to be talking about is the zinnias. When Geri and I looked at this online and looked at the detail of the bloom, it is beautiful with the zinnia profusion, red, yellow color, bicolor. And anyway, with the bloom, it's just very, very pretty, and with the yellow.
Yeah.
And I can see the bees and the butterflies
yeah.
going after that. It'll be
it's a
beautiful.
magnet for them.
It'll be
yeah.
a beautiful in your garden.
Yeah.
So Geri, you want to talk about the perennials?
Well, the perennials coming up are always exciting because they last forever, hopefully. And the pollinators too. You've got a lot of pollinators.
Yes.
You're a pollinator garden.
I'm the pollinator garden.
Yeah. And first one is the Hydrangea Limelight Prime. Now, they had a Limelight last year. This is a new one called Prime. It's an earlier bloomer. It's got strong stems. It's got a saturated lime. It starts out and it goes to pink. And it's just so reliable and showy. So they've been testing this one for quite a while, and it's a beautiful one.
I can't wait to get my hands on that one. It's going to be a pretty one.
And then we have a Wigelia that it's called Wine and Spirits. And I love this because of the color. It's like a buttery yellow, between white and yellow. And it's compact, it's not real big, so you can grow it, probably anyone can grow it in their garden. And it's just long blooming, it just blooms.
Well, and
blooms.
then it's got the purple.
And the foliage is dark purple. It's really pretty. And then the spirea, I've got quite a few spirea, but this is double play dolly. I don't know if that's for Dolly Parton or not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So anyway, this one with the double play dolly, it has the beautiful hot pink blooms. And the season interest to that, and it'll just be beautiful as it starts blooming in your garden.
Right.
So,
okay, for right now, we'll take a little break, and we'll come back, and we'll be talking about the Arkansas Diamonds, if you're not familiar with them. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Dave Todd, president of Todd Films. We work alongside Bella Vista Community Television to produce some of the content you see aired here. Have you thought about reaching your customers through a television ad? We have several options for you to consider. They range from coming to our studio here, or going to your place of business, or on location. Once you have your commercial, Bella Vista Community Television has several options for you to consider for airing your commercial. Do you have a live event that you would like to capture on video? We also offer live production packages that may be of interest. Please continue to tune in to Bella Vista Community Television. We hope you are enjoying this program. And now back to the show.
Well, welcome back. Right now we're going to be talking about the Arkansas Diamonds. Now this program has been in effect, I think, since maybe 2021, something like that. And it used to be done by the University of Arkansas. And I think it's been taken over by another company or another group. But they find the best perennials and annuals and shrubs and maybe ground covers for Arkansas. You know, they'll grow well in Arkansas. And there's a website. I think we showed the website. I don't have it with me, but the website, just look for Arkansas Diamonds plants, and you'll find it.
I was surprised. I realized they didn't have that program.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
And
very
it's
surprising.
an old program, and it's got some wonderful plants that they suggest over the years, and every year they add more. So and again, I guess they're tested, you know, by the nurseries. There's a council that gets together and determines what's the plant or the annual of the year, or the, you know, perennial or whatever. So it's a good source to go to find plants that grow well in Arkansas. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope you'll add some new plants to your garden this year. I know you will. You always do.
Yep.
And I will too. And I hope everybody does. It's always nice to try new things. And someone said if you don't lose plant at least once or twice, you haven't tried.
Yes. So many of these plants also, we want to give credit to proven winners.
Oh, yeah.
I know the proven winners plant behind us, a new Nepeta, a mint cat.
Cat mint.
Mint plant.
Yeah.
But Proven Winners has beautiful website that you're able to see a lot of the new 2025 ones that they have put out. But we follow, what is it, the Proven Winners Direct website, where you're able to get plants online, and many of these new ones are online.
And
So
you
be
can
sure
order.
and check that out.
Well, the problem is sometimes you'll go on and they'll be
out of
stock. And then, excuse me, you go back in, you know, a couple days later and they have them back up again. So it's amazing that the amount of plants that they sell, it's amazing. So anyway, try some new things this year.
Yep.
And then what to do in your garden in May is another thing we want to let people know. So May is the time to finish planting, and don't forget to mulch. You know, you got to mulch to keep your plants moist and weed-free. So the annuals, you want
I'll
to
go ahead and talk about, sure. Annuals right now, if you go to the different locations to buy plants, the annuals are out, and you can plant your annuals now. It's no problem at all, even though it's been down in the 40 degrees in the morning.
They just won't do much.
They won't do much. But with this rain, and if it stays above 50 degrees, we are good. So be sure and use good potting soil so that they will survive all the way through fall.
Yeah, and those containers, if you put those polymers in that kind of keep the moisture, you won't have to water as often, and it keeps the plants nice and moist. You can buy those polymers just anywhere. So herbs, once the night temperature is at least 50, you can put your herbs out. Basil does not like to be out there under 50 degrees, so. But they're more sensitive, I think, to the temperatures. So, but you can get those out now. And most of them take full sun, and some like a little shade. You know, they're not all the same. So, and then
Anyway, with the bulbs, right now the daffodils have gone by their wayside, but make sure that after you've trimmed off the bloom, leave the stem for 6 to 8 weeks, because they're still nourishing that bulb.
Yeah.
So be sure don't cut your bulb plants back.
So I did see a whole bunch of daffodils last year that were cut to the ground before the bulb was able to get all that nourishment back. They didn't bloom this year at all.
No.
Not one bloom. So don't cut off your foliage until it almost turns yellow.
And same thing with the tulips.
Yeah.
The alliums are blooming right now,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful. But the same thing, the allium plants, be sure to leave the leaves after they've bloomed. Something that I've done with the allium bulbs, I leave the seed pods, and I spray purple paint on those seed pods to keep them.
It looks like it's still
looks
blooming.
like it's still blooming.
You're a cheater. You cheat
I'm
a
sorry.
little bit.
I just had to put that little plug in. So if you see that in my garden, you'll go, oh, my allium is still blooming in June. It's because I've painted the seed pod.
Well, those seed pods are great to use in floral design, too.
They are.
When they're dried, they're great.
They are.
Yeah. Okay, and perennials, you got to finish dividing your perennials now. And if you can't place them in your garden, if you divide them, share them with your neighbors, or friends, and spread the joy of your plants.
Hostas this time of year. Hostas seem with
they're huge.
They're
this year.
huge. Whether it's the early wet weather that we've had, and I've had no slugs, which is very good.
No,
so
I haven't either.
Watch around those plants around because of the wet weather. Be sure to look around underneath your foliage to make sure you don't get the pests. Because
Yeah.
now with the drizzly
rain.
weather is when you'll see
find
the
'em.
disease is coming in.
Yeah. Some people put those balls from the sweet gum trees around their hostas.
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
the slugs will, hit that and die. So if you can find those sweet gum balls, I'd like to find some. I don't
Yeah.
have a sweet gum tree.
Yeah.
So
So lawns right now are Bermuda grass and zoysia is growing beautiful. Be sure to not mow less than a third of the height of the blade. Right now, before you should have done your pre-emergent, but we still have a lot of weeds. So
Yeah, we
if
do.
you're doing weed prevention, look for Bermuda grass weed prevention. Spray just individual pieces. Otherwise, you'll lose your Bermuda grass. But with this, I know I've got some weeds in mine, and I know Jerry, you and both.
Yeah, we
You've
haven't
got a
fighting 'em.
lawn care, but I go out and pull mine.
yeah. You don't have, but just a small patch
I got a
of grass.
small patch, so I pull
You
mine.
don't have
Yeah.
3,000 feet.
Yes.
3,000. Oh. Okay. And if you could get a soil test too if you're worried about your lawn nourishment. If it doesn't look good, get a sample of your soil to the extension office. It's a free service, and they'll tell you what you need in your lawn.
Yep.
So.
Be sure and water no more than an inch of water a week. Otherwise, it'll be saturated and you'll get fungus.
Yeah. So, but with this rain, sometimes it's hard to time your mowing, because it rains so long and it's growing so fast. You may have to mow it and then the next day mow it again instead of just chopping off like half of it or 3/4 of the leaf,
I know
take
I
off.
mowed yesterday, or actually it was the day before. It was the day before I mowed to make sure I knew with this weather coming
It's
on,
gonna
we'd be
just pop
mowing
up,
again on
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah.
So
We might have to do some research into this new grass that only grows so tall and you don't have to mow as much. We'll look at that.
yes.
So,
So roses. I know right now the roses are coming into bloom. So many are beautiful.
Right.
But watch out for those aphids. The aphids are bad. I know underneath one of mine I've been having to do neem oil. And then I've been having to do the Rose RX. I use neem oil and Rose RX both to make sure that the aphids and the fungus doesn't get to
well,
it.
you can take the real firm water spray and
Yes.
spray them off too.
Right.
But sometimes it's hard to get under the leaves to do that.
Roses are heavy feeders, so I've been putting the fertilizer out for those, and I usually do water before you apply that fertilizer. Otherwise, it'll burn.
Some people do the holidays, like they'll do 4th of July, June Mother's Day or something, or Father's Day, and then 4th of July, and then, just feed them at the holidays.
Yeah, but they're heavy feeders, and be sure and feed them.
Once a month at least, yeah. And then trees and shrubs, you got to prune them after they bloom. So like your azaleas were beautiful this year, but then as soon as they finish blooming, then trim them. And then that's a good time to feed them too, after they bloom for next year.
Everybody gets confused with the hydrangea shrubs. Right now, I call them the Mother Day shrubs, or the big leaf hydrangeas. Be sure and don't prune those, don't touch them, because the growth is coming up below, and the buds that are on there are your blooms. So do not, there'll be sticks coming up, but don't cut those back or don't prune those.
Yeah, the only one you can really prune to the ground is the Annabelle.
Correct.
That type.
Or the limelight
Limelight.
hydrangeas,
Yeah, you
the
can prune those.
pinnacle. How do you pronounce it?
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle. Pinnacle. The
Pinnacle?
pinnacle type hydrangeas, you can prune those back.
Okay, and then vegetables. I don't plant a lot of vegetables. I don't have a lot of sun, so my sun is reserved for my roses and peonies. And speaking of peonies, we have these beautiful peonies here, as somebody brought in. They're just gorgeous this year.
Aren't they beautiful?
I just planted
They
a new
smell
one
so
this
good.
year, and just anxious to see it bloom.
I can smell it from here.
Yeah, if you cut a bouquet and put them in your kitchen, it'll just smell wonderful.
Beautiful.
But the vegetables, pole beans, lima beans, cucumbers, you can plant your warm season vegetables now. Of course, tomatoes. And we had a program last night on the Master Gardeners talking about tomatoes, and you know, they've got good information at the U of A about tomatoes. You can just go online, find out everything you need to know. So for more information, you can go to the bellavistagardenclub.com website. We've got tons of information on gardening. And then also the Master Gardeners has a great website with a lot of information. So, and the Benton County Master Gardeners, they meet every month except January, the first Tuesday of the month. And the next meeting, general meeting, is going to be July 1st at the First United Methodist Church on Northwest 2nd Street, and it's 5:30 for social time, and 6 o'clock the program starts. So, and guests are always welcome to the Master Gardener meeting. So a lot of good information and good friends you find there. So,
In the Bella Vista Garden Club, we've basically, our last general meeting has ended. We have, in May, we'll have coming up here, like I said, the plant sale. We have a group meeting coming up here for going to the botanical garden.
have a field trip in
and
May.
the field trip that we have in May. And then in June,
June.
we have our luncheon. And
We install officers, new officers that day.
so basically, we're done for this year. But
Well, we take off July and August,
August.
just to tend to our gardens and stay cool. And then we start in September with our new meetings. So thank you, Ginny, for joining me today. We just learned so
welcome.
much about these new plants. And if you need more information about new plants, all you really have to do is go online and just ask new plants for 2025, and you'll get all kinds of information. And it used to be the Master Gardeners would have a library of books, but people would call in with questions on how do I do this or what do I do about that. And now you just Google it. Everything's out there for your information. So it's a whole new world for gardening.
new world.
And there's blogs. You'd have blogs that you
Yes.
listen to also. And there's just so much information out there. So we're hoping we can add a little bit of information to you or share it with you. And every time we do the show, we learn things we didn't
Yes,
know
we do. We
before.
learn
It's
something new
always
every
a
day.
learning thing. You never know enough about gardening. It's always something new. So anyway, thank you for joining us and sharing this. I'm not sure what our program is going to be next month, but be sure and tune in. And until then, don't forget to stop and smell the roses.